John Biggs from Generated, and this is Joaquin Cuenca. He's the CEO and co-founder of Magnific. You guys have been around for a long time, and we talked to you before a little while ago, but welcome back, Joaquin.
Thank you, John. Yeah,
I
if
think it's
people
been
don't remember,
it
it
was
was
like a
last
year or so ago, I think we talked.
Yeah, but last year our name was Freepik. We recently
Mhm.
changed our name from Freepik to Magnific.
Okay. So actually, let's talk about that a little bit. So you guys were always basically a like a B-roll slash like photo sharing sort of site where people could get like share upload and sell photos, and then you kind of pivoted over to AI. I think sounds like Magnific might be fully AI, or what is Magnific going to be now?
We originally were like a stock site for
Stock site,
images
yeah.
and photos. Pretty popular, like over 100 million visitors. And in 2023 change, we started creating tools that people could use to create their own images. And in 2024, we created the tools that people could create their own videos. And now that part of the business is much larger than the traditional one.
Okay. So tell me about that move. So it used to be stock photos. People would take a picture, you'd upload it. It's a picture of a tree or whatever. And then people started wanting to have the tools built into the website. And then you kind of like almost abandoned the stock photo, or what's the situation there?
Well, we didn't abandon it. The stock images, they are still in the platform. It was only professionals that were like selling their photos. It was not like end customers that were putting them there. The professionals will sell their catalog through Freepik. And we had like the largest catalog in the world for icons, for illustrations and stuff like that. But we actually got a much bigger traction when people were able to create exactly the images that they needed instead of going to pre-made images. It's like for them it was just way more useful than before, and we got more users because it was more attractive.
So tell me a little bit about that. First off, what did your original customer base say about that? Like, hey, you're taking away our stock photo cache, or are they worried about that? What was the situation?
Okay, so first of all, like the users, they just got more.
Mm-hmm.
They got like their stock images, and then they got a way to edit and to create new images from scratch. Okay, so for them, it's a net win. For people that were selling images, they were still selling the same amount of images as before. So this has been purely additive to the platform. So not so much of a backlash. Of course, some people in the industry, they just do not like AI, and they are within their right. We have been always like very transparent with our approach. We think this is good for the users, and this is why we have been doing it.
So you guys are doing AI video. Specifically, what was the tool set that you had to build out to create good video?
Yeah, so there are multiple things that you need to put together. First of all, you need a way to create audio because audio is going to be used as a reference for the video. You need a pretty good way to generate images in different styles because, again, that's going to be like the seeds that you use to generate the video. And then you need to coordinate like typically like multiple video models to generate from scratch, to extend an existing video, to increase the resolution of a video, to clean up the glitches on a video. And then some post-processing tools to do color grading on the final outcome, to put together like multiple clips that you generate into a full film, etc. So there are multiple tools that you need to put together to make something that is really attractive to make long form videos.
What are people making? What have you been impressed by some stuff that folks have been producing?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm pretty biased, but there is a production. There is a series playing on YouTube that we produce. It's called Chronicles of Bone, which shows like multiple fictitious characters. It takes Robin Hood, it takes Captain Hook, it takes Dracula, it takes
Wow.
Frankenstein, and it puts us in a fantasy world where they all kind of live and fight together. And that one is pretty impressive. Like most people that watch it, their first question is, okay, you use AI here, but to do what? Any visual effects? It's like, no, it's like the whole thing.
Whole thing.
Yeah, and they're pretty surprised by that. So right now, if you look at a Hollywood film, it costs around $50,000 per second to make a second of video. With our tools, all things considered, you need to spend around $5 per second. Okay. So it's like 10,000 cheaper, 10,000 cheaper.
What do you say to the folks who have been, I don't know, they're used to shooting with cameras, they're used to sitting there and generating CGI, they're grading by hand, all that other stuff. I mean, presumably that stuff has kind of changed as well, but what do you say to those folks who are like, hey, this is my world, and you guys are just like typing some things and you got Dracula fighting Frankenstein?
Yeah, so they're going to be, our view is that there's going to be more opportunities for everybody. We don't have a view that we're going to lose jobs here. Jobs are going to change, that's for sure. So if you spend 12 hours a day in front of a computer doing manually some visual effects, that is going to change. But there's going to be a bigger need of people that know how to put together a story. There's going to be a bigger need for people that know about audio, that know about great photography. We see that already happening. We have, for example, we had never been able to put together a film before. It was impossible for a company like us. Now we do it just as a marketing material. This is what you can do. We produce a film. Produce a film. We need somebody that knows about audio. We need somebody that knows about photography because I don't have any idea about that. We need somebody with an eye. We need somebody that can tell a story. You put together a small crew to do that. And that enables a project where before you will have 0 employees. You have like some medium-sized productions. You like Wonder Project. This is a studio in LA. They are making fully feature films and series with a crew of 300 people. That's way smaller than a traditional crew, but that green lights projects that will not have been green lighted before because the cost is way more affordable. Studios, they're doing way less fantasy driven films than what the public wants because it's just so expensive. So we believe that we are going to see an increase in the number of productions that go out. And that is going to drive like the need for more and more experts in the industry. Some of the jobs, don't get me wrong, like some of the jobs they are going to change. They will not stay the same. But people that have an eye, people that can tell a story, my opinion is that they are going to be in short supply very, very soon. This is going to super exciting industry to be in.
How do you prevent disinformation, right? I mean, your tools could essentially be used to like make a fake whatever, a fake Netanyahu or whatever, that kind of thing. How do you prevent that? Or are you worried about that?
So we prevent it because we take care, we are very strict into what kind of videos you can generate with the face of a famous person. There are multiple filters that go on when you generate a video. So first filter is this a photo of a human? Is this an image of a human? That's filter number one. If the photo was generated with an AI tool and we know it came from scratch, that's okay. But if it comes from the outside world, it can be representing a real human, then you can be filtered out. That's number one. And is this a famous person? It is a famous person. That's another filter on top of it, and you're gonna get blocked again on the generation. To get unblocked, actually, there is still a manual process that we go through. Like you need to show us proof of a contract with this person, so that you own, you have the rights to use the person. Same thing with brands. Like if you use a brand that is well known, you need to show us the proof of having the copyright to use that IP in general, whatever it is. And that only happens like in the enterprise side. On the e-commerce side of things, you don't have access to those to being whitelisted. So you will just get blocked. But in general, and those tools they are used to create fantasies. I think to some extent it's inevitable that some people will put together things that do not violate any IP, but show things that are fake. It can be people that show a building that is being blown out, but in fact it has not been blown out.
Yeah.
And we need to deal with the fact that people play with words, people now play with images and play with videos to tell stories that are not true. There's nothing that can be done about it. Like this is the reality of current state of technology, that we can make those words, images, and videos.
So the view is that this is an extension of a Word document, right? Like anybody can write an essay, like anybody can write an article that says somebody did something bad, but this is just the next step in that you can say we're showing that person doing something bad, but it's the same as do you think there is a material difference in like a video of somebody doing something bad or a news story that shows up on Facebook, like some fake garbage on news?
We are trying to prevent people showing other person doing something without their agreement. So we are trying to prevent that so that doesn't happen. In general, with the evolution of technology, I think that will become more prevalent. Even if it's not in our platform, it will happen in other platforms. And we need to get educated around that. I think it's inevitable. We will need to exercise a more critical eye over what we see. The same thing happened even before Gen AI. Okay, like some people do not believe that the man went to the moon, even though they saw the video, okay, because they think that was all staged. That can happen like with every single video that you get access to. Is it a real representation of reality? Is it something that was staged? You need to get like more information over the event to understand if this really happened or not. What I'm saying is that your concern is absolutely valid. I think there's an increase into a risk that was smaller before and now it's bigger, and people need to pay more attention to that. But they also think that this technology brings so many good things that it will be allowed. It's like having knives in your kitchen. It has
Mhm.
benefits, some downsides, and we need to deal with them.
What does the world look like over the next few years? How does AI video change?
Excuse me, can you repeat it? I didn't get it.
How does AI video change over the next few years? Is it getting better? Is it going to be drastically different than it is today? Even
We see the evolution from the past 3 years.
yeah, it's only been like 2023 was like it was spaghetti Will Smith, and now you can like make him look like he's eating spaghetti.
Yeah, we are now at the point where we are getting like some films that can be produced fully with AI. People are working around the limitations. Like the best films that you get today are either with animated characters or with robots where the expression is not that important. We are getting to the point where you can make a film where the expression, or it can be a human and it's credible, but the acting is not 100% there. That's the current state. I think we'll get the acting very, very accurately there in the near future. I think we'll close the gap. Whatever gap remains, whatever people find like valuable that we're not yet doing, we'll do it in the short term. By all intents and purposes, you can consider GenAI video today as a new kind of camera that you can use to your profit to tell your stories.
I like that. I like that idea that this is just another camera, right? It can be a good camera, it can be a bad camera, it can be used for almost anything. What should an artist who is entering this world right now, what should they be doing? What should they be learning? Obviously, you don't need to learn how to shoot anymore. How do you learn how to prompt? How do you learn how to tell stories in this era?
I'm not so sure about that. That you don't need to
Hmm.
learn how to look. Like to me, number one thing that an artist has to do is they need to remain interesting and interested.
Hmm.
The thing that we bring to the table is our own personalities, our own experiences. You need to have some experiences. So I will advise anybody that wants to do a career in the creative industry, travel around to see different things, to gain some experience in the real world. You have to approach this technology like any other technology in the creative industry. It has downsides and you need to learn it. Like, for example, when photography came out, one downside of photography compared to painting is that you cannot change what is in front of the camera. If you're painting, you can make the person, the subject, a little bit more handsome or whatever you want to
Hmm.
do. You have full freedom. If you take a picture, you don't have that freedom. And people originally criticized photography because it was not as flexible as painting. But it's its own thing. It's its own medium. It produces its own form of art. Again, you need to understand what are the limitations and what are the strong points, what you can do with it. Yeah, it's kind of the same. You can dream anything with AI. Some things will be slightly a little bit more difficult to drive than if you were drawing it by hand or something like that. Or it's a limitation of that technology. So just learn what are the limitations of the technology. Learn what you can do with it, like the strong points. The strong points is that you can do things that were very difficult to do before, that require like big budgets, and you can go crazy with that. So experiment a little bit more. Like now you can do a film where you transition from reality to illustration to 3D. The same film, like there are many, many more things that you can explore. And as an artist, you have to kind of break the tool. You have to go to the limits. In general, you have to put something that is inside you like, in front of the others. And the others can judge what you produce. So I will advise people to have an angle, to develop that angle, and to look at all the tools that are at their disposal. If it's a camera, that's beautiful. Take the camera. If you want to do that, other people are acting, do that. You want to use AI to some extent, do it. I do whatever you want to do to create, to tell your stories, that's it, to put your art.
Perfect. All right, well, I'm going to send people over to magnific.com, magnific.com, formerly Freepik. I like the new site. It looks pretty cool. It's funny that it started out with you guys just doing pictures, stock photos, and now it's a whole suite, right?
Yeah, the world is changing, and so are we.
All right, Joaquin, thank you for joining us again. This has been great.
Thank you, John.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.